What is fear? Humans have evolved fear as an essential survival mechanism. This primal response is designed to help us detect and respond to danger. Fear manifests in many ways within us, in our bodies, in our minds, and emotionally. Fear can cloud our perception, affect our decision making, and impact our behavior. In this video, I'm going to unpack fear and how it manifests within us, and how we can employ yogic practices to help us overcome fear. Hi, my name is Vidyut, and welcome to my channel, The Yogic Path. In this channel, I delve into yogic concepts and explore ways in which we can use yoga in our daily lives. So, what is fear? Fear is mentioned in the Yoga Sutra. Now, the Yoga Sutra was authored by a mystic sage and philosopher, Patanjali. Patanjali is thought to have lived on the Indian subcontinent between the 2nd and the 5th centuries BCE. Patanjali codified ancient yogic practices into 196 verses, and that work is called the Yoga Sutra. Patanjali mentions fear in verse 9 of the 2nd chapter. It goes, Svarasavahi vidushopi samarudaha abhiniveshaha. What does this mean? Roughly translated, it means fear has its own source. It flows on its own. Even the wise are affected by it. The term for Patanjali uses for fear is abhiniveshaha. So what is this fear that he's talking about? It is a deep-rooted fear of life and a resistance to change. We tend to build our lives around our families, our friends, our social groups, institutions, our jobs, and our identities. And these are the components of our life. Now, any change or any perceived threat to any of these components triggers a fear response mechanism in our body. When we resist these changes, it leads to a lot of pain and suffering. So what happens to the body when we experience fear? Fear is detected in the body, in the brain, especially the amygdala. The amygdala is a small almond-shaped part of the brain, which is a concentration of neurons, of brain cells, and it is located deep within the brain. The amygdala detects threats and danger and triggers the rest of the body into the fight or flight response. When this happens, the body releases hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. Now, when adrenaline and cortisol are released, our muscles tense, our heart rate increases, our breath rate becomes faster and shallow, and we are ready to fight or run away. Now, when this danger or the threat has passed, the body comes back to normal. Now, in our lives, we are constantly exposed to or bombarded by news and events that trigger the fear response or the stress response mechanism. Now, this could be at home when we are with family or have arguments or disagreements with family members. This could happen with our friends or in social situations or at work. There are many situations at work which trigger the fight or flight response, and we really can't fight or literally punch anybody, or neither can we run away from that situation. So in this sense, the body is flooded with a cocktail of stress response hormones, the adrenaline, cortisol, and but there is really no outlet for this. We can't run away, or we can't, get into fights with people. So we tend to accumulate all of these stress hormones within our bodies. Now, usually, when the threat has passed, these things subside. But when we are constantly are exposed, or we have prolonged exposure to these stress response hormones, we then experience what we can refer to as chronic stress. And chronic stress affects every system in the body, starting from the cardiovascular system to the digestive system to the endocrine system to the musculoskeletal system. It affects every system in the body, even the reproductive system. Now, this is how the body responds to stress or fear. Fear also manifests in other ways, emotionally, within us. Fear could result in anxiety and worry, guilt and shame, self-doubt and loss of confidence. It could lead to hypervigilance and sensitivity. It could lead to sadness and loneliness even. Especially if this fear remains, or the source of our fear remains unresolved, undetected, or unaddressed. Now, in this case, then it needs a lot more, a more involved approach to address these issues. Now, how does the body calm down? Once the threat has passed, or once the danger has passed, how does the body calm down and come back to normal? The body does this by triggering the parasympathetic nervous system, or an inflammatory reflex. Now, this involves the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, also known as the wandering nerve, is the longest cranial nerve in the body. It connects the brainstem to other vital organs, especially the heart, the lungs, and the digestive tract. The vagus nerve is responsible for heart rate variability, for slowing down the heart rate, promoting digestion, and promoting a sense of calmness in the body. Now, how do we trigger the vagus nerve? Now, this is quite cool. So, when we perceive threat, the body's autonomous systems, take over. So, which means we have no control over the fact that our heart rate increases, and we have no control over the fact that our breath rate also increases, and that our muscles tense, because this is the body's evolutionary response to threat and danger. But however, these three mechanisms are connected by the breath. So by consciously slowing down the breath, we can slow down the heart rate. And yogic practices do this. Yogic practices convert unconscious breathing patterns into conscious breathing patterns. And there's one pranayama technique, especially the Nadi shodhana, which does this quite well. Now, Nadi shodhana is also referred to as the alternate nostril breathing technique. Let me demonstrate this for you. So, exhale completely, breathe in through the left, close the left, breathe out through the right, breathe in through the right, close the right, breathe out through the left, so what Nadi Shodhana does is consciously slows down your breathing. And slowing down your breathing reduces your heart rate. And a reduced heart rate lowers your blood pressure. Now, this conscious reduction in our breath rate and conscious reduction of our heart rate, creates the conditions within us to think a little bit more calmly and respond and alter our behavior in stressful situations. We are creating conditions within us to better perceive the situation and alter our response. And this is how this yogic practice can help you overcome stress every day. You can call Nadi Shodhana a hack, a short-term hack that helps you think a little bit clearly. But when it comes to chronic conditions like anxiety or loss of confidence or self-doubt, then you need a more involved approach. And for this, I refer to another yogic concept called Svadhyaya. Svadhyaya is referred to in the first verse of the second chapter, which is Tapaha Svadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhana Kriya Yoga. Svadhyaya could be interpreted as reflection. And a simple way of doing this is to maintain a journal. And in this journal, you could maintain a log of stressful events and how those events made you feel and how you responded in those situations. Now, you're not going to get an answer with noting down just one event. Over a period of time, if you note down all of these events and your responses, you may be able to unearth a pattern. And you may be able to unearth insights which allow you to get to the source of your response mechanism, why you behave the way you do. And hopefully, from such insight, you will be better prepared to deal with a stressful situation. You may be able to, based on your own reflective insights, alter your response to stressful situations, therefore having a better outcome. To summarize, there are two techniques that you can employ. One is alternate nostril breathing, and the second is journaling. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel for more such information about yoga. Also, in the link below, I have provided a link to a worksheet that you can download, which allows you to, in this worksheet, I've got a few postures, some breathing techniques, and some journaling suggestions that you can employ every day to help cope with stress and overcome fear. Thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Vidyut and you're watching the Yogic Path. Thank you.